Good morning, YouTube. Welcome to the Reptile Barn. We got a request to give an update about Evoltra, our Volta ball python, so that's what I'm going to do. We've had Evoltra for years now. Oof, 5, 6 years, I want to say. And she's an awesome snake. She is our only wild-caught snake. Um, and I'm really not huge into wild-caught reptiles. Um, as far as experience goes, I don't always think it's really a good thing ecologically. It can be very, very stressful on the animal itself. However, um, there is a time and a place for it. And in this case, someone reached out to me and said, "Hey, I've got this Volta ball python. She's wild caught. Um, Obviously, all pure Voltas are pretty much wild caught, and she won't eat." And he'd had her for about a year. She had not eaten. She was starving to death. She was just skin and bones, down below, I want to say 1,800 grams, which for her size, her length, and what her weight had been, I mean, she looked like a dead animal. And he had heard that I kept gerbils and had a regular gerbil food supply, and he was just hoping that maybe she would take that because ball pythons often like gerbils a lot better than they like your typical rats and mice that we usually give them. So he shipped her up to me, and 2 days later, I tried a gerbil. She ate it, and she's been great ever since. Now, she has never been a really strong eater. So I spent years without breeding her, um, trying to just minimal stress, leave her alone mostly, just trying to get her weight back up. And I mean years. It was like 4 years of getting her back up to weight, and she peaked at 3,900 grams last year. I say peaked, I don't mean that's the biggest she could get, but just she looked good. She looked healthy. She looked full, for the first time since we had her. I went ahead and bred her. She was gravid. She laid eggs. We've got babies. It was success, right? So our babies are only half Volta, and I want to tell you about the Volta snake, right? There is a region in Africa. I'm gonna go sit down. I'll leave her alone since she needs to eat. Oops, sorry, baby. There's a region in Africa, a Volta mountain range. So this is a locality animal, right? And they just get big there. Not sure why. Just this locality of ball python gets really large, and these are wild snakes, right? So, um, people like to have big snakes. Breeders like to have some Volta blood because they tend to lay a lot of eggs because they're big, and that is that. So she's doing great. She's healthy. She's happy. Long term, when we move out of here into our new place, we're gonna probably build her a nice big bioactive enclosure. Not sure I'm really gonna breed her too often, if ever. She's just a pet mostly. But yeah, that's the update on Evoltra the Volta. She still only eats gerbils, but now she will eat frozen thawed gerbils. For a very long time, it was only live. Now she will eat frozen thawed. So that's something. She's never taken anything else for us. Not live, not frozen, not nothing. Just gerbils. And that's fine. She is, again, like I may have mentioned, she's really good tempered. We hold her. She behaves herself. She doesn't seem to love being held, so I don't hold her too often. Um, but yeah, so that's my update. Don't know what else I can really give you. She's going into kind of a winter fast right now, which a lot of them do. She's never been sick. She's never had any issues. She was treated for parasites, external, internal, although we ended up doing it again ourselves because we found a tick on her when we first brought her in, which was interesting, since supposedly she'd undergone internal and external parasite treatment twice. Maybe it was just a very resilient tick, or maybe it was a new tick. Who knows? You know, there's places down in the States that get pretty much everywhere except Alaska, right? Has ticks. So she's healthy. She's a great snake. I really I don't plan to breed her very often. I know that bums some people out because people want offspring from her. I do have a couple left. I don't know that I've listed them anywhere, but if that interests you, reach out. I've got some morphs in there. Again, though, these are only going to be half Volta because, you know, her big giant genetics are diluted by the normal sized dad, if that makes sense. So it's not like her children are pos het. It's not a recessive trait that way. It's just that her giant blood is diluted. And she's not a particularly massive Volta, but she also has never really fully bulked up. She's not a good enough eater to really put massive amounts of weight on, and that's okay. We don't need a big obese snake. But there you go. There's my update. Volta is doing great. Thanks for watching, guys. Till next time, we're the Reptile Barn.